It's just different.
Hopeless at one point and then having an opportunity to make you go harder, make you get in that booth and just really express that hopelessness. Like, man, y'all don't understand. This is like, you know what I mean? You dig from a different place. That bottom of your soul, that pit, homie, where you felt like the shit was, you know what I'm saying? You always wanted, but it looked like it was just not gonna happen.
Shit, in your mind it ain't gonna happen, shit, it probably won't. I took some risks, some people probably won't. That's how we're grateful for the fruits of all my labor. Hard to live and know you sick, I'd rather be with my creator, thinking time's up.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Four Insight Podcast. This is your host, Mike Obi.
And it's your boy, London Ogletree, back for some more gems. What's up, my boy?
Anything, my brother, another week, another day, another opportunity to bring gems to the culture. What's going on your end?
Nothing much at all. Like you said, ready to bring back some more gems. Just kind of want to talk on this topic. You know, we're not really going too deep into the relationship aspect of it this week, but I love the kind of topic we're going into. So I'll kind of let you start it off.
All right. Before we get into the episode, obviously, like we always ask, and like we always like to acknowledge, we appreciate all y'all who continue to support us, continue to engage with us in person and online, telling us how y'all rock with us and asking, us to keep on touching on different topics, different episodes. We can't do this without y'all, so we appreciate it. All right. So this week, we're going to get away from all the dating relationship stuff. I mean, that's all good and well, but, we do try to help and we do try to reflect and we do try to grow as well. So a recent IG poll that I saw kind of inspired this episode this week. Basically, what the poll asked was, do you think people would rather be a lifelong single millionaire or would they rather be a 100K earner who are able to raise a family? So we're going to start off this pod, but just asking that question. What do you think about that?
Lifelong single millionaire or a 100K earner who raised a family? What do you mean by 100K earner? Like this yearly or?
Yeah, so a yearly 100K earner, but you have the opportunity to raise a family as opposed to a person who is a millionaire, but they're single the rest of their life, and they have no opportunity to raise a family, whatever that reason is, but bottom line, you make more, you have more money, but you basically
you don't have no family or anybody to do it with.
Exactly.
No, that's tough. That's real tough. I would probably say for me, there's positives to both sides, of course. I mean, the millionaire aspect of it, you have the money already, but at the same time, for me, in my situation, how I think, like Shaq said something on a quote. He said, "Yeah, I have this $4 or $5 million house, but I come home and nobody's in there." So I was like, after a while, it gets kind of lonely. So I would probably pick the 100,000 earner who raised a family and can have a family, a nice wife, kids to whatever. Because at the same time, you can become a millionaire off a 6-figure job and you can invest in that and put that into it and become that. But when you're a millionaire and you just don't really got nobody on your side, it gets lonely. It's like you just got money for no reason at that point.
Yeah, I agree. What I thought of, or what I even answered to the poll, homeboy posed it. I said, listen, there's only so much money that can buy you happiness without there being a legacy to kind of share with. Like, I feel like, especially for us guys, maybe it's different for ladies. That would be something that really gain a perspective on. But I feel like for us dudes, we work, we go out and pound the pavement. No matter what we really say about us, wanting to be bachelors, we really strive to earn money, to earn wealth, to earn status, to be able to create an empire for ourselves that we can pass down to, our descendants, our offspring, in my opinion, is what I feel.
All
right. Now,
before we go to the next one, what was the poll percentage, for the?
I didn't ask, but from what he kept posting on his story, many people I would say picked the 100K earner who raised a family. Yeah. I think it's about them having children and such. There are some people obviously who say, well, I can be a millionaire and, I have money and, money can buy me happiness. And, to that, it poses actually a good question. Then we'll move on to this next point. Many people said that they want to be rich and wealthy. But do you think that's cap? Like, do you really think people want to be rich as, we kind of see on social media and how we see it portrayed on TV? Or do you think people say that, but they don't really mean it?
I would hope some people want to be rich and wealthy. I think there's actually there's difference between being rich and wealthy. Being rich, I think that would be, I mean, anybody can be, there's levels to rich. I mean, I guess you can say 100. Technically, if you're making it over $150,000, $200,000, you almost consider rich, honestly, but people just don't look at it like that. But like wealthy to me is just like you have an empire, you have so many different things where that's like generational wealth, and it just keeps going down, and it's just ridiculous at that point. But for me, I don't think people want to be rich and wealthy, to answer your question, but I don't think they know how hard it is to get rich and wealthy. And I think that's when you start seeing who really wants to be rich and wealthy. It's like, okay, well, you got that hustle and grind. Like, are you going to stop when people like, I always want to own my own business? I want to own, and like I said, going back to the gym situation, I know several people I just watch who have their own business up in there, and they be in the kitchen, they just really be grinding. I'm like, you got to do like literally 18, 19 hours if you own your own business, and you're going to probably fail in the beginning, and you just keep failing. And it's like, those are the people who keep failing and keep going. Those are going to be the people who be rich. But I think a lot of people say they want to be rich, but don't want to do the steps or learn the right ways to be rich or get wealthy. What you think?
No, I agree with you. I think many people say that they want to be rich, they want to be wealthy, they want to have a lot of money, but they don't understand the sacrifices. And I don't think they understand what comes with being rich, as far as like, it's not just about working hard and working long hours. Like I think Kevin O'Leary or Mark Cuban said, I gave up working 40 hours so I could work 60 to 80 hours being an entrepreneur. Like they think, oh, if I'm an entrepreneur, that means I could work less. It's like, nah, man.
You can get there, but the height of it, like I think people see things like when like Kylie Jenner sold her stuff, like she's not majority owner, or like dude from Jeff Bezos sold whatever, like he's not doing it because he's already up there. But to get to where he was at, he started Amazon in like 98, and it's 2022 when he did that. So you do them years, like it took him that long, so he don't got to do nothing really no more. It's like it's not easy. Like that's why I just like, it's a lot of people say they want to do it or whatever, but I also think people rather have fame over being rich too, though. So
they rather have fame over being rich. Elaborate on that. That's a good one.
Like I said, like people rather have I'm sponsored by this, I'm with this big company because it shows this, or they want to go get a car, they might rent it out. Like me, if I rent out a car, I have no problem saying I rent a car. If I had this like watch that was from Fossil or something, I say that. But people like that attention, and it's almost like you would take that. Like, it's a good question. Do you think people would take 350,000 followers on IG or have 500,000? Start off at 500,000. What do you think they would do?
So you're saying, would people rather take 350,000 followers on IG or start off at 500,000? Yeah. 500,000, in my opinion.
You think people will? Yeah. I think we'd be surprised that some people will take the 350,000.
Why? I mean, that's something.
I mean, you could, if you want to make an argument and say, well, I can turn that $350,000 and monetize that and get sponsors. Well, yeah, you're technically right, and then maybe that could be a good route. But if that wasn't your main objective to it, I think a lot of people, I get attention, I get all this, I get this. But I guess if you look at it from that way of like, I'm gonna get a lot of brand deals, then I guess that might be the safer route because you're gonna have more money from that way. So yeah. It just depends. I'm taking the 500,000 though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's not even a question, because like even me, who's into the whole social media stuff now and who kind of engages with these things, for me, like building a following is really about being able to inspire others and kind of build like, influence, as far as being able to kind of, you don't know who needs to hear a message. You don't know who needs like help. I mean, so it's like, especially us doing this podcast now, like we want it to be successful, not just because we want that, like we want the adoration of others, but it's like we want to be able to spread the message as far, abroad as we can. The only way to do that is to build a following, so people will share the messaging. That's the way I see it. It's just not about being famous to me, because I was never like the type to need a whole lot of people like liking me. You know what I mean? Like I've always had a small circle, so it's kind of the same thing about like, okay, if I have like even 1,000 followers on IG instead of 150. Like I'm cool with that, as long as they're loyal to me. Like a lot of people have like 100,000 followers, but you look at their pictures, the images, they don't get a whole lot of engagement. And that to me is weird. It's like, okay, what's going on there? Like you
Right.
look, they have 100,000, 200,000, but then it's like they only have like 150 likes. It's like, okay, what is that saying? You know?
I think for me, that's how it is for me as well. Like, and no, not me being cocky, not me being, I just think I hold myself to a different weight and different level. I
Mhm.
feel like if I was to hit like 5 to 10,000 IG, I feel like I'd be cool with that and to be
Yeah.
done. Like I wouldn't want to be done, but like if that just where it stopped, I wouldn't. But I feel like my 10,000 will hold weight to like 80 to 100,000 followers, just how I move. And like, I'm just a genuine person. Like I'm not here to like be friends with you just because you got that number. Like I'm here to be cool with you because I rock with you, or I could see potentially we can be cool. But like some people just be cool with people because they have these followers. Like
Yeah,
me is
for sure.
weird, but
Yeah, no, it is weird to me too. Cause like especially like me engaging in social media stuff now more than I did maybe like even at 2021 and stuff. Like it took people almost not forcing me, but it's like, dude, like post. Like, why are
yeah,
you not?
it's like it's hard for me. Like I do it. Like I always tell people, I post, but like please don't get me in that same category that I'm just doing this to be like them. Like I do it because I know there's an opportunity that I could get money from it. And I'm not saying that it will happen, but if it was to happen, I could say at least I tried and put all my eggs in that basket for that sector. Like I'm not gonna say I'm just gonna quit my job now and just whatever, but like I'm gonna try 5, 6 different things. And if one blows up, then I can say, well, this is the angle that I can take now and go this way. But like I'm not doing this to be like I get clout or I want attention. Like I do that just so like if somebody does need help and they don't want help, then I just post it for me, and whoever needs the motivation or something is like cool. And that's all I
Exactly.
do for it.
Exactly. But I think that's honestly why people rock with us. Like genuinely, it's like we're not trying to fake anything, or we're not trying to really be something we're not. Like we're like, okay, yeah, we post and yeah, we're trying to, get our opportunity just like anybody else, but we're not letting that dictate how we act or how we move. It's more so, all right, we have an opportunity to do something. And if we get it, great, cool. But if not, no problem. You know what I'm saying? As long as we're able to help the ones that we're able to help inspire. Like, I mean, I'll say that the people who follow me actually rock me, which to me, I take more pride in and I'm happy with. It's like everybody who I follow, I know personally, I've met personally for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who follows me, like they actually engage me in person. They actually like what I talk about. They
Right.
actually like the fact that I'm into fitness and, they like that I'm a humble individual. You know what I'm saying? And I try to, bring positivity to people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Your
No.
first 10 to 15,000 followers is gonna be your hardest followers, and those will be your most, I think, genuine. Everything else is gonna be, oh, she's popping, he's popping,
That is a
so
fact.
I'm gonna follow him. After that, it's just like that's how you kind of make it to the top. Like I saw, to me, I mean, Russ is a good artist. Like I didn't know he was up at Alpha.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was up there, but like it's like, dang, it's at one point he was us.
I
And then
know.
once it blew up, it was just like now you have fans. So it's weird to me. But
How do you feel about potentially having fans later on down the road? Like
I
people,
would struggle with it. Like I'm like, as you know, my homeboy Ryan, like the way we would go somewhere now, like me knowing him since 7th grade, I'm looking at him like he's like how we look at each other about just obvious London. I'm looking at him like it's just Ryan.
mm,
Now, like we go to a Rockets game, I'm seeing kids, everybody. If I have a picture, to me is weird. I'm not doing it, but like I can't. It'll be hard for me to do fan because I'm moody at sometimes,
mhm,
and but I don't want to take pictures. But I understand celebrities now. They be like, I just don't want to be bothered. But it comes with the reason why you are there is because these fans. I will be real, because they supported you. So you got to be nice and respectful at the same time. But at the same time, we're human beings, and like we don't always want to be bothered. So I couldn't personally do it. So I mean, I'd rather just be rich.
yeah, but no, I mean, I think you bring up a good point that like, heavy is the head that wears the crown and who has the influence or who has the following, right? Like when you go out, people are following you, people like what you're talking about. So it's like you can't really be moody or you can't get frustrated. Like I see this happen a lot with athletes, or they have to deal with this a lot as far as like they'll be out in public and people be like, oh, I want an autograph, let me get that. And then they kind of like, I'm not really on that right now. And then as a result, it's like, oh, he's rude or he's this just because he's just because he's famous, he thinks he's better than people. So I get that it's a delicate situation. Like Andre Johnson, I know has that narrative about him. Like he's a person who doesn't like to be bothered. He just likes to hang out with his daughter. I remember when I worked at a academy, he was the type like he don't want to be bothered, he don't want no help. He just likes to be in his own space. And if you try to help him, he's just gonna look at you like, nah, like get away from me type of stuff. And so people used to think he was rude. I'm like, well, I mean, maybe you just gotta understand that he's just not the type to really engage with people.
Yeah, like it's okay if somebody don't want to talk like this because you called him at a good time. Like, oh, I just Andre Johnson that like he should always say hi, but you got to think about there's a million people in this world asking about can I have a picture, can I have a handshake? Like
Exactly.
some people be fangirling and like it's fine, but it's just like, bro, back up off me, bro. Like,
no.
but that's when those dudes really rock with you when you really don't be bothering them. They but he don't care about me at all. Let me go see what he's talking about. I'm like, well, now we can have a conversation.
That's facts. So like I know I have one homeboy who has a big following, and so like when we would be out, like he'll act like we'll talk to women and stuff, and so then like he'll be like, yo, follow me on Instagram, right? And when the girl sees how many followers he has, it's like, oh, who are you? And then like,
who are you?
Yeah, now it's who are you? Okay. Now you see the clear switch.
See the clear switch. At first he was all because Ron was telling me about that. He was like, I just tell them to follow me on IG and they see like the 150,000. They'd be like, what'd you do? And now it's like
exactly
it's all iffy about 2 seconds ago. That's why I was like, nah, I don't want your number no more. I'll just say I don't want it no more.
Why you gotta be like that, London, huh? Are you mad?
Because bro, you didn't even like you looked at me like I was just some cream puff. Now you see me, you think I'm LeBron James. No.
All right. On to the next thing. So I have one question, which is that do you really think money buys us true happiness? Because a lot of people think that. I mean, you think so?
Yes.
All right. So why?
I know me personally, but it just depends on the person. They're gonna always say, well, you can't control. I already know I can't control death, this and this. I already know this. So you gotta go into it knowing that there's things that are gonna happen that money can't fix. But all I'm gonna say is I do know if you imagine if somebody had $15 million in their bank account, just in their bank account. There's 60% to 70% of things that you're gonna be eliminating from stress. You don't got to worry about the refrigerator not being full. You don't got to worry about not having a nice house, cars, make sure your mama right, make sure your friends right, make sure their life's right. You can put everybody in the best situation that you can from money. Not saying that money, to me, that brings money. We can go on trips. We can do this. We can do that with no worries. Whereas if you broke, you can't do none of that. So it's like, to me, money brings happiness because that makes me happy. But I do know I can't control if I have my hand dealt bad, if somebody has cancer, this my family has cancer, I can't control that with money. Like, yes, now I can't use my money to control that, but I know that going into that. So I think people look at it like, oh, y'all just think money can change everything. No, but it can change about 75 to 80% of it. And I'm like, if money controls everything, you can't buy nothing without money.
Yeah, I agree with that. My different twist on it is that money enables happiness. It doesn't buy it. So it enables people to have the lives that they want, and then having the lives that they want. Like my thing is, if you're a discontent person who has a bunch of demons that you never are able to overcome and work through, money only, compound those things, right? That's why a lot of people who get wealthy go broke. You see those athletes, they already are fighting a lot of shit. And then as a result, they get the money and they think, oh, that's going to fix it. No, it's just going to make you, usually, get into worse habits. And then now the money, now you're attracting probably people who want to take advantage of you more likely than not. And, they're only rocking with you because you have money, because you can fund a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if you're a content person who knows how to manage money and then you get a hold of it, then those things can enable you to live a happier lifestyle, live a more content lifestyle, because you're able to have less things you're worried about.
Would you know how to say no if you was rich to like a lot of people? Yeah, okay. I know I would. I would have no problem saying no. They hate me. They're like, man, you fake, you change, whatever, bro.
I'm like, nah, you're the one who's fake and changed. And honestly, your intentions were wrong from the get-go because you only were rocking with me because I have money or because you saw the potential. Like I see that with people who like athletes, especially, who all of a sudden people are like, oh, you don't like, you have the money. I know you do. So therefore you should be able to do this, do that. I'm like,
nah, not really. Like you still got to like they have, rich people have the most responsibilities. Just because I have this millions and millions of dollars don't mean I ain't paying for my mama's stuff. Money. To me, for my family over there in Detroit and stuff, I know how they manage money, which is horrible. Mm-hmm. So I would say, look, do you guys want this monthly?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want me to give you a whole chunk yearly? Because if you spend this, or you want me to give you the whole chunk now?
Mm-hmm.
If you spend this, what I'm gonna give you, you're not getting no more. Don't say I'm fake. I'm letting you know right now, this is all you get. And then I got my mama, my pops, my brothers, my homies, and then we good. Now we go somewhere to a club or something. I'll be okay, let me go get this section, let me do that, whatever. But I'm not, and then sometimes I'll be like, I got y'all on the trips or whatever. But like if I was like a millionaire, I wouldn't like, we're not gonna just every time I do something, I'm paying for it. No, it's not gonna do that. But it just times where I'm gonna say, I got y'all, because like I appreciate y'all being in my life before I had this. Now I'm gonna help y'all and spoil y'all. Just because y'all my homies on me, I can't spoil my homies. So it's like,
Yeah.
to me, that's how I feel with it. But like I'm not gonna overdo it. Like, so I think money, I like what you said, it enables it for you to be happy.
What is the balance, in your opinion, or the line that is the difference between you being, maybe philanthropic, charitable, sharing, versus, okay, you're doing too much, in your opinion?
For me, I've never been big. I always say if I get rich, I've never been big into charities. I've been big on like, I want to see where my money goes. I don't know where that money is. They say it's going there, but I just don't know what is it going to go into. I'm big on going to like, if I know in the inner city of Detroit what the problems are. I know, let me go into like a Kroger over there. I see a lady over there, she's struggling in Thanksgiving, or she's struggling in Christmas. Let me go buy this whole, everybody in the store, I got y'all's groceries. To me, it's not about broadcasting. It's not like whatever the news posts me to do it, that's on them. But for me, I know that could have been this woman's or this man's last money for check, but they know they want their family to be happy. And then they just found somebody that day and said, I got to keep $200 to $300 in my pocket that I can just save because I get close to the month till I get paid next. Mm-hmm. That's a good deed that I did. So for me, I think that's not doing too much. And then after, I think once you're doing too much is when people just keep asking, you're like, and you keep saying yes. And then one time you say, no, mm-hmm. You're wrong. Then you got to just know with yourself and God that you did everything in your power that you can, and that it's not your fault. So if you start listening to other people call you fake and post stuff like that, that's on them. Like, I don't really care what other people think of me anyway. So that's how I look at it.
I got another devil's advocate question. So there are those, especially you see this with pop culture icons, people like rappers, even athletes to a lesser degree, but especially rappers who have, millions and they got a whole bunch of influence. There are those who say, those people aren't as genuine as they say they are, because all they do is shout out where they're from. They shout out their hood. They shout out, wherever they come from, but they don't ever reinvest in those communities. A lot of those people, or they only do it minimally. So what do you say to that statement that, you could do more, but y'all choose not to?
And I think that's like somebody said something about Michael Jordan. That's somebody like he only gave $1 million to somebody.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know how much $1 million can change something? Like he has this many millions. He only gave $1 million. Godly, I could have gave you 0 and nobody would have got nothing. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm like, I just won't give y'all nothing else. You really gonna hate me. But then that's how I get really mad at that stuff. But like I do agree. There's some people from peoples in their hoods and stuff where they can try to help change, but at the same time, I don't know if you have to go through the city to kind of get those approved and stuff. Like, but like there's some things that they can fix. Like I was watching something with the basketball stuff. J.R. Smith was like, he was like, there's so many people from Compton in California. Like, why are we still going to UCLA to hoop when we can make our own gyms, our own community? He's like, we all could put like a couple of million in our stuff and we all can make it art together, which is true. And I just think it takes a conversation. Nobody wants to be the first person to do it. Yeah. And whoever is that leader to want to jump off the ledge and do it's a domino effect. Like, so I think a lot of people aren't comfortable in their skin. I don't care if you're rich or not. A lot of people want somebody else to do something first. That's why it's hard to be like LeBron James or something. Like LeBron to me is like a perfect example of I'm gonna do everything myself. I'm gonna start off with my empire. I'm gonna get my friends and they're gonna do everything and they're gonna run my own business. They're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. And now everybody's trying to look at LaMelo. He's trying to do that with his stuff. Everybody's trying to like get their own team and do that. So You got to be the leader.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, even on the LeBron thing, like, remember when he opened the I Promise school and people found out, like, okay, he didn't fund the whole school by himself, or like the way the public school is ran out there in Akron is that it's still paid with taxpayer dollars. So he just supplemented it. But when
Yeah.
that came out, it's like, oh, you see, it was just publicity. He really isn't, investing in the community. Like, I'm like, see, it's never enough for some people. And that's where I like, I get annoyed. It's like, bro, like y'all think that these people are supposed to be funding their lifestyle. Like, and I think that's the line that gets like talked about is like, I was able to put in the work to attain this wealth. And now people think I should fund the lifestyle. Like I hear that get talked about a lot. Like wealthy people say, well, I'm wealthy because I put in the work. But now people want me to just reinvest all of my wealth back into them, which it's like, ooh, that gets a little touchy. And I don't have that level of money. So I don't, really
Yeah,
know
no,
what
man.
that feels like. But it's like, coming
I
from
see you gotta be comfortable in your skin.
yeah,
Like LeBron, I used to hate LeBron, you know this, but like
yeah,
I've gained me growing up and becoming a man, like I respect nothing but respect for that man because I know me, I'm gonna be Kevin Durant 2.0. I'm about to be on Twitter attacking back. Like all these people be coming at LeBron, like I know, and he's so composed, like he don't say nothing. I'm like, that got to take, and he still keep doing good deeds. I'm like, even Michael Jordan, they be like, he's like, he left the community. He's not with black folks no more. And I know Michael Jordan, he don't give a damn what people say. So he's just be like, he's like, whatever. Like, he's like, oh, y'all sell these shoes for this and this. Like, he can't do nothing wrong. Like, right. So it's like once you get that big, you're going to have these critics and you have to understand that and you have to just go with it and just be like, y'all are talking about me for a reason. So I'm doing something right.
Yeah, facts. Okay. Now, for people who do truly want to be wealthy, what is it that you think drives them to desire it? What is that thing that lights a fire in someone's belly to say, I want to be wealthy and I'm going to do whatever I can to get there or to attain it?
That's an individual question per person. For me, it would be just the passion of wanting to not fail and be average. I really don't ever want to be average. Like I used to want to be average, and like I told you guys, like I did horrible in high school. And like I look back, I'm like, bro, you could have mounted to more than what you did. And like the fact that I got to where I'm at now, I could have been 3-4 steps faster if I just did it the right way and stopped being a kid. But as a kid, you don't really know. But it could be family. It could be you want your mama to be right. You want to make sure she's okay. You want your dad to be right. You want your family members like to never have to worry about anything. Like Shaq mentioned something very well. He was like, I don't have time to cry because I'm making sure my mama, my sister, my dad, my this and this is all protected. He's like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't cry or nothing, but he said, I'm just a provider, protector. He's like, I got to make sure everybody, he said, that's why I go so hard. He said, I can't stop moving because I got to make sure people around me are good. And that's kind of how I take it. It's like for me, I go hard because I know if I could ever tell y'all can quit. If I could ever tell my people, y'all can quit. That would make me feel so good. The fact that I'm like, I'm not going to give y'all this money, but now I'm going to there's something that some of the other homies might want to do. I'm like, look, I'm funding this. Now let's go get this to the top and let's go make sure you run it right. And let's make sure you got some money in your pocket where you still got some money if you need me, whatever. But I want you to be like, I did this by myself. I grew this brand, like my homie helped me, but I grew this by myself. So that's kind of what drives me is helping other people and making sure that everybody's around me that I love is good.
Yeah, I'm again, amen. I'm kind of cut the same way from the standpoint, like we both understand that it's bigger than us whenever we do want to be wealthy, right? It's a matter of being able to take care of those around us, right? From the aspect of we have all that, like we have the answers, that we have the ability to help when they need it. You mean like whether it's family, whether it's siblings, whether it's maybe the homies who we could see their drive, their passion, they just need someone to invest in them. They need someone to believe in them. 'Cause I think a lot of it is, there are so many people who, if they had just been given the opportunity, if they had just been given a chance, if they just been found, if they just been, discovered, they could have made it. But they were never given that opportunity. They were never given that chance. Nobody really ever was able to find them. And as a result, they didn't understand that there's a bigger world, there's a bigger worldview. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's about like whether it's my family directly or whenever I do choose to have a family, like my own kids, my own descendants, like I want to be able to give them all the free game. I want to be able to make sure that they're taken care of, and like we'll never have to worry about, oh man, we broke. Oh man, we don't have, like, I don't never want nobody around me to be hungry. You know what I'm saying? And be
Yeah, that's how you
struggling.
can look at it. I mean, I think it's not like you're trying to seek blessings back. But I always tell my mom, like, my mom does a lot of nice gestures. And I'm like, man, I ain't gonna lie, mama. That's like, to me, that's great that you did it. But like, I think God would just see that, and like, your time is gonna come and you're gonna get blessed one day by just being so genuine and just being so true to yourself. Like, keep doing that. Don't always gotta ask for something in return. Just say, I want to make sure you do that. And I think that's kind of where I got that from. So
Facts. So what I want to do now is just kind of look to the future, because right now, me and you are both young. We're still building. We're still kind of figuring things out. We're doing well, right? We're on our way. We're projecting upwards. But when we hit 50 years old, you know what I'm saying, and we're more so looking at the latter part of life, what do you want your life to look like at that time?
at the age of 50,
Yeah.
I would love for, like, the money figure wise, or just
Just in general, like, what do you foresee life looking like? How do you look at it?
family, of course, a family, a woman, like a wife that my best friend, three kids. I'd be cool with 3 kids. Four
Three.
kids. Yeah, four max.
Man,
Um,
my people's raised 4 kids, man. Ugh, oof.
3 to 4, but it depends how wealthy I am. But if I have 3 to 4, I'll be cool, because, like, we, us parents, got to drop off. So, like, I want my
Yeah.
kids to have each other when they mom and dad go. So I don't want them just to be alone. Like me, I'm like, it's just me and my brother. So
Hmm.
for me, I want to have a nice stable account. I want to say I want to be in the millions, but like, I have some rental properties. Hopefully retire from corporate America by then and kind of get into like real estate and have rental properties fully, and whatever I have in that terms. But I also can see myself staying in corporate America my whole life. So it just depends. Hopefully, me and you and this blows up. Maybe. So this is kind of what I'm leaning on now. So it's like, I see myself at 50 with a great career, and their family and friends are all taken care of. That's what I see at 50. So until I see that, then I won't stop. What about you at 50? That's a long time from now.
I know, man. I mean, for me at 50, hopefully I'd have, like you said, family, wife, children. Hmm. How many kids? Yeah, 2 to 3. I mean, three's an odd number, but
That's why I said 4. I was like, that's an odd number.
yeah, exactly. Well, for me, and this is how I generally feel. I would want to know what people think about this. I feel like when you have more than 3, or if you have more than 2, one of those kids gets a kid. What I mean by that is usually the parents get so consumed with work, and know if they are parents who work, that the younger of the 2 kids usually is spending more time with the older sibling. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to ever be an absentee parent, or have like my children thinking like, oh, my dad was never around enough. So that's why it's like we'll see it, how much money I'm making and how available I am, what my career and monetary wise, what that's looking like. But definitely do want to have children. I know people are like, oh, I'm never getting married. I'm like, I'm realistic, bro. I probably am. You know what I'm saying? But
I just be joking when I say that, but I can't see myself not getting married. Like, to me, like,
yeah.
I'm bored at this point. Like, I hate coming to the house now and just being alone. I'm like, this is stupid. So I know I'm getting bored of it now. So I can't see myself.
Dang. I mean, we've talked about this before. It's not that I'm bored of it, but it's just I'm not I'm not there enough where
Not
I
there.
feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not there enough to really where it's like, all right, you can really raise a family the right way, not us struggling, not us having to think about shit. It's
Right.
like I want to be able to know, all right, me and mines are ready, me and mines are taken care of. You know what I'm saying? That's more so what it's about.
Right.
And then as far as what I just I don't want to be defined by what my career is. Like I always tell people what I do for a profession is just to fund my lifestyle. The stuff that drives me and motivates me are the things that I take an interest in. Fitness, fragrances for me. I collect them, and then doing this podcast where I'm able to talk to people. I like talking to people. I like interacting with people. I like teaching people. I almost at one point was thinking about getting into teaching and coaching, but then I realized there's more, and I can reach people on a greater level if I open and start a podcast where it's like, yeah, I don't have to be limited to just the dudes I coach on the field or teach. I can reach a larger scale.
Yeah.
It's always about trying to grow and trying to look things at on a more macro level, right? And then fragrance, I mean, shit. It's one of the skills, one of the hobbies I took up and adopted. And if I can, kind of share that interest with other people, get them on their collections, get them on to smell good. Like for me, fragrance enables people to have opportunities because when you smell good, people kind of like, okay, what's that about? You know what I'm saying? And then naturally, you never know what opportunities you can create for yourself. And then, yeah. So
He's
I
not
just
lying, yo. He's not lying, yo. I just he puts me on a lot of fragrances, and I actually just got a compliment from somebody. It's like, you always smell good. I was like, dang, Obi gonna like it. I just got that yesterday, actually.
my
I,
man,
I
my
was like, I'm gonna
man,
tell Obi this. So this is the first time he's hearing this. So I'm
my
glad he liked
man.
it.
Good,
So
good
shout
shit.
out to him.
Good shit, my boy. And that's what it's all about, man. I can help people if they want to be helped. You know what I'm saying? If they want to ask. And that's the thing, like now people are starting to come to me for it, which I take pride in. It's like if I can help people, get a leg up, then by all means, you know what I'm saying? Um, and then just at 50 years old, I mean, shoot, looking at the latter end of life, I mean, I just want to hopefully have been accomplished in as many realms and as many fields as I can be,
Right.
where I really can take pride in the life I've lived. And hopefully my children at that time can see like their dad was successful and they can kind of be driven to carve out their own niche is my thing. All right. Now, this one is a philosophical question. What 3 values would you want instilled into your children? What are the top 3 core values you'd want instilled into your descendants?
Respect everybody around you. That's first and I don't care who you are. I don't care. Like I said, you're the garbage man, you're the CEO. Never let anybody disrespect you. So that's gonna go hand in hand. Respect everybody around you, but also don't let nobody disrespect you, and don't be afraid to dive in somebody's face if you have to. I'm not saying fight nobody, but I'm saying respect yourself and always stand on what you believe in. Because if you're respecting everybody around you, you don't have to double back and say, well, you wrong. Well, no, I was raised to be respectful and love everybody and not be an asshole. But now this person disrespected me, and I was raised on not tolerating that. So it's almost like if somebody, I was taught that somebody hits you, you hit back. And like nobody gonna hit me. So like you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. And this is whatever. So the third one, financial literacy. I probably go on that term and that like angle of it. Like just want to have them. I just want to give them as much game as I can off of. I want that like third one to be just like about school, college, how to handle your money, investing. Like I want them to know that early. So they're not going into it like how I went into it. And it's not my parents' fault because they didn't know, but now I know. Just explaining them that college is very important, but there's so many ways to get money as well. But I want you to finish college. I want you to get a degree, but I want you to know that this 9-to-5 corporate America job is not going to make you rich, but investing your money and making it grow with the Roth IRA for retirement funds, index funds, mutual funds, like any of those like type of whatever, or you want to study and go get fancy with like S&P 500. I mean, that's not really fancy, but like going to like study and kind of figure out like a company that you believe in and invest in it, go with it. And like as you see crypto, that's going to be probably bigger one by that time, but I don't know if that's going to blow up. That blows up, and teach them about that. So I just want to teach them about stuff so they don't have to ever say I didn't give them all the pieces that I want them to have everything possible with knowledge wise so they can move accordingly without me when I pass away.
You hit the nail on the head. Really, those are all 3 core values, I'd want to instill in my children as well. Give respect, command respect, and be financially literate. And I would just say, just to add on, one extra one is just whatever you do in life, strive to be the best at it, because that's always going to be able to translate in anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, schools maybe not for everyone, right? But if you try to be not everybody's built for college these days. Like that's becoming a growing thing in our culture now. Okay, well, fine. Vocational school, trade school, like those things can make you a good living and make you some good money. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
be
a
able
good
to,
one, trade school.
you know what I'm saying? So be able to at least have the knowledge and the wherewithal to be able to say, okay, if this isn't who I am, no problem. I'm always gonna like love my children for who they are because they're mine. I'm never gonna say, oh, because you didn't do this, because you didn't go to school. Oh no, I see you in a different, like, nah. But okay, you don't want to do college. Fine. What are we like? What's the plan? What's the end game? Right? What are you trying to do then? I'll help you. I can help you, but you need to have a plan. Or if you don't know what you want to do, at least come to me and we can figure that shit out. And that's my whole thing is being able to have all that game where I can say, okay, you don't want to do this, we can do this. And that's what, that's what I would say about that.
I think hard work, always teach them how to work hard, because something that I got installed in me was like I said, you do yard work, you do this. I already know for a fact you're going to pass that down to your kids, because like you might not like doing it, but you see the value of what that has done for you. That just makes you just work extremely hard. And like you don't need nobody, you don't got to go pay nobody to do something, because now you know how to do it. So like you're just teaching them that it's okay to pay for it, but know how to do this if it came down to it. So just work hard at everything: sports, school. I'm always going to tell them about my struggles in school, and I was horrible. Don't go down that same path. I know it's hard, but be smart. It's okay to be educated. It's okay to speak clear. It's not, you're not weak if you have proper grammar. Don't let them in the outside make you feel like you soft if you don't have proper grammar, because they're the people who you got to watch out, because they just trying to follow the trend that they look goofy at that point.
That's a fact. All right. Now, even going a little bit further down the line, at the end of all of this, when we look back, what would you want your legacy to be? What would you want London Ogletree's legacy to be? Maybe at the end of your life, people are thinking about you, reflecting on you, thinking about the time that they knew you. What do you want people to be able to say about you and who you were?
That I was genuine, and whenever somebody needed me, I was there to help them. If that was money-wise, lay a head on the couch, respectful ear, have a conversation. I want to be left at as just whenever I needed something, regardless of what it was, London was there to kind of just help me with some type of way. And I know I can't do that with everybody. I have my flaws and as whatever, but if I had 60% of people tell me that if for my legacy after I pass away, whatever, I'll be happy.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, just that I was a genuine individual who strive to do the best and try to leave the world in a better place than when I found it. I mean, put simply, that's my thing for me.
Literally. That's all you can do. Because people are like, well, you can't really do that if you're not rich. I'm like, well, you can, because there's people on a lower scale than just rich people. Like there's tons of people who I've seen struggling. Like I always tell people, I'm like, why are you worried about this? Why are you worrying about that? And they're like, why you always give me the best advice? And like, I don't get happy, but I'm like, I'm glad I can help you steer in the right direction, because I'm like, you was thinking all off the train. So I was like, train tracks, you got to get back in the lock in. So
I mean, if you just are willing to help people, if you're willing to take the time out to invest like energy and really try to put in effort, I think that's what translates. Like, for example, this happened recently. A younger dude, that I kind of am friends with and a little bit of a mentor too. Like he hit me while we were out, and he was like, yo, you got a chance to talk. I have, girl troubles, man. I need your advice. I said, I'm out now, but just go ahead, send me what you need. Nah, think on it. And so then he sent me what he had going on. And then gave him a call, and he was, just reflecting. He's like, yo, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I gave him, my advice, told him what I think he should do. And what I take pride in, or what makes me feel good, is he's like, bro, I appreciate you taking the time, to help me. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't really have that in them. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, to me, what makes me feel good. That's what, I'm all about, is just trying to help others, man. So that's what it is. If people say that about me, and that, I always tried to help when I could, that's what, that's all I could do. You mean?
I hear that.
All right. So, and we're at the end now. What do you think about this week's episode, man, in the conversation? Good one.
This was educational episode. You know, I like these every now and then. Like, we ain't giving advice. We just want to sometimes if somebody need to hear some motivating or just humbling experience. I think sometimes you kind of have like a roll stop and say, okay, now stop at this relationship talk. Let's stop talking about this. Let's help people and let's talk about some real stuff sometimes, which even though relationship stuff is real stuff too, but like these are also real topics as well. So we don't want to just get stagnant on that topic sometimes. And that's kind of where you came to me is, okay, let's kind of branch off and do a little bit of this. Sounds like I agree. So I definitely like this topic today.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, again, like dating and relationship stuff, it's all good. It's all cool. You know, those are things that really are pressing, you know, for people our age. We're all trying to figure that out. But it is also good to reflect and to kind of look at things on a greater level and on a more open level. Like, it's not just about that, but it's also being able to build a mindset. I think if people have a little bit more delayed gratification as far as like, what are we really striving for? It'll help them really be able to make things work in the present moment, because they know they're trying to, you know, strive for something greater. In the moment, it's easy to be selfish, right? It's easy to say, oh man, nope, I don't like this, so F off. But, you know, it's like, okay, well, maybe this could work. You never know. This could be an opportunity to, you know, be a part of something great. And I think if people have a little bit more openness, maybe they can make more things work. You mean?
I agree.
All right. That'll do it for this week's episode, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, tap in with us on all social media platforms. You know, you can follow me at obi.mike56 at IG, and then just follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor, so you can help boost us in the algorithm and spread the gems to everybody out there. London, go ahead, plug your Instagram.
Yeah, just follow me on IG, London, LONDON _OGLETREE. Yeah, we appreciate y'all a lot, man. Just keep helping us trying to get to the top so we can spread love and give it back to everybody. So I appreciate y'all a lot.
Right, this is 4 Inside Podcast, and will catch y'all next week.
Feet on the ground with a prove you wrong mindset. I'd rather go out on my sword than have my mind tapped. The ones with eyes can never see, I make the blind clap. I'm bringing back that type of sound that once divine rap, homie.